Welcome back to my multiple myeloma Odyssey, part 2. Today we're going to talk about treatment. But before I want to talk about treatment, I wanted to talk about one of the things that is pretty shocking. When your doctor tells you you have an incurable cancer, that's a pretty big shock. Now, I'm 79 years old, so I've lived a pretty long life, and that's okay. You know, I could leave tomorrow and still be pretty happy. But what about the people who are in their 30s and 40s, and they're given the same kind of message from their oncologist? You have an incurable cancer. That's something that's pretty hard to take. As for me, I've lived a long, fruitful life. I've filled up a couple of bucket lists and done a lot of things that have made my life pretty interesting. And at 79, I've done a lot of the things that I've always wanted to do. Now, if I was 39 or 49 and gotten the same message, that would be another thing. So right now I'm feeling okay. I'm not too shocked. I am shocked because I've lived a pretty good, healthy life. I played softball at Central Park. I played for the Long Island University freshman basketball team, although I was the last person picked. I've done 50-mile hikes. I've done a couple of marathons, the Seattle Marathon and the Portland Marathon. I've also gotten my black belt in karate after 7 years of training. I've climbed mountains and I've also been married for 54 years, which is pretty cool. So for me, getting news like this is not good news, but it's not devastating. After my diagnosis, I was referred to an oncologist at Chiang Mai Ram Hospital. Turns out she was trained at the Mayo Clinic in America, and she really knows what she's doing. So I have a lot of trust in her. The first thing she wanted to do was to get me on meds, and just to see how it was going. So I'm going to talk about the medications that were offered to me, and you'll get an idea of what's available. Now, the meds I'm getting are called triplets because there are 3 different types of meds. And the reason there's 3 is because they're stronger when they're working together. And hopefully they can develop into remission. So let me talk about the first medication I was offered. Okay, it's called lenalidomide. You can see the name sounds sort of like thalidomide. And if you're old enough, as I am, to remember back in the 50s and 60s, thalidomide was a medication that was given to women for morning sickness. One of the terrible things that happened was it also caused terrible birth defects in children. And so thalidomide was dropped from everything. But it turns out that thalidomide is a pretty good cancer drug. And the lenalidomide is related to it, and that's the cancer drug I'm taking. I take it once a day, and what it does is it's a cancer cell killer. And when you take it, it attacks cancer cells, especially in the bone marrow. So that's the first drug I started taking. Now, I had a little bit of a problem with that drug. There are side effects with all drugs. These aren't chemotherapies. They're a different brand of drug. But there are side effects, and the side effects that I experienced was constipation, insomnia, and a mood change. Now, this is very interesting because I've been regular all my life. I've never had any constipation. I've never had insomnia. In fact, I was pretty proud of being able to just lay my head on a pillow and within 30 seconds be asleep. But the mood changes was the big deal. I became very depressed. And I have never been a depressed person. I've always been a happy guy. And I've never had any experience in depression. So this was really a bummer. I felt sad all the time. I felt like, well, why even go on? Why, why live like this? I wasn't suicidal or anything like that, but I didn't really enjoy being alive. So when my oncologist realized that I was having these reactions, she decided to take me off the medication for a week, and just to see how it would affect me. I did get medication for the constipation, and I got medication for sleep. And dealing with the depression, I had to just buck up and just say, I'm not going to be depressed. I'm going to feel better. And in fact, that worked. That worked for me. So after about a week of not taking medications, my oncologist put me back on, and she gave me a steroid called dexamethasone. This is a very strong steroid. I've read it's 5 times stronger than prednisone. What Dex does is it makes the other medications you're taking stronger. It increases their efficacy, which is kind of interesting. But it also has its side effects, and I didn't let that bother me too much. So the side effects I'm having are just the insomnia and the bowel movements. But I'm taking medications for that, and that seems to be doing the trick. By the way, some of the medications have their technical names, like lenalidomide, but it's also sold under the name Revlimid. So if people are taking a drug called Revlimid, it's the same drug. And dexamethasone is the steroid that I'm taking. Now, since this is a triplet medication, I am taking one other medication, and this is called bortezomib. It's also sold under the name of Velcade. This is an injectable medication. I get one injection a week in my stomach, and it doesn't hurt at all. It's in fact, the nurses at Chiang Mai Ram are really good, and they really know what they're doing, and they're very gentle and very kind, and I'm much indebted to them. Now, this bortezomib is an also cancer killer. Lenalidomide is a cancer killer. It kills cancer cells, but so does bortezomib. It attacks in a different way. It attacks cancer cells and doesn't allow them to grow. So I'm taking these two anti-cancer cells drugs that seem to be working pretty good, and the triplet treatment that I'm getting is very recommended by just about everybody, except for the fact that there are other treatments that I could have. There's a bone marrow transplant, and there's stem cell transplants. But when a person is over 75 or even over 65, they don't recommend getting these transplants, because they put a lot of pressure on your body, and in fact you could probably die from it, or get very, very sick from it. So at 79, they didn't even recommend these for me. So I'm using the triplet medications. And hopefully the triplet medication will put me in remission, or at least cut down on the cancer cells that are growing in my body. Now here's a couple of things that the cutting down the cancer cells will help. The bone marrow produces red blood cells, and when it has cancer, it sort of has to deal with the cancer and sort of forgets about producing red blood cells. Well, that makes for an anemia, and I am anemic. We take my blood tests every week, and I'm not very anemic, but I'm not great. So I do get tired sometimes because of that. So that's one of the problems I have, is being anemic. It also is what caused the CKD, the chronic kidney disease. Now, I didn't have chronic kidney disease before this, and when they first discovered it, it was pretty high. It was like stage 4. Stage 5 is when you're really in trouble. But I was at stage 4. But after taking the medications, I've dropped down to stage 3, which is really good, because stage 3 is not a very dangerous stage to be in, and you could live a long time with stage 3 chronic kidney disease. And my blood tests are getting even better every week, so that's kind of good. It means that the medications that I'm taking seem to be working on the anemia side and on the kidney side. So I'm pretty happy with all of that. The medications I'm taking are working, and also every once in a while my oncologist will give me a different medication, a fourth one. Like last week I got 2 injections, and one injection was for my bones. One of the main problems with MM is that it causes osteoporosis in the bones, and there's lesions on the bones, especially in the spine. And a lot of people, when they're younger and get this, and they don't catch it in time, get very, very severe bone aches, especially in the spine. And since mine was caught fairly early, I haven't had any bone problems. Now, I did fall down and I broke a rib, but that was my fault. That wasn't the MM's fault. And it seems to have healed itself, and I feel okay now. But a lot of people are younger, and they have to say 39 or 49, and come up with MM. They first notice it by getting very severe bone aches, and I'm just a lucky guy, and I haven't had that yet. And so she gave me some medication to deal with the bone aches, and also I'm taking extra calcium. And in a few weeks, she wants me to take an MMR, yeah, that I hate. But she wants to make sure that the bones are okay and they're strong. So I'm going to have to do that. And the way I deal with my oncologist is, she's my boss. If she tells me to do something, I do it. She knows a lot more than I do, and I'm very happy to listen to what she has to say. In fact, the last meeting we had, I just asked her, sort of just out of nowhere. I just said, "How do you think I'm doing?" I didn't think she would answer me right away, but she said, "I think you're doing great." Well, that made me feel pretty good. And even though I have some side effects, the side effects are being taken care of, and we're doing okay. Now, I got very weak, and it took me months to regain my strength. And the next video, I'm going to talk about what I did to regain my